Let's explore bariatric holiday survival tactics so you can get through the holidays with your sanity intact. Ready or not, the holiday season is upon us. It's about family, friends, giving, faith, wrapping up the year and beginning fresh. As the song goes, it's supposed to be the most wonderful time of the year. But for many of us, it's crazy stressful. Whether your pressure is grounded in family, food, finances, or a lack of time, sometimes holidays can feel like they're more frenzy than fun. Or for some of us, it might be a time of year where we feel lonely and left out. So let's talk turkey about the 3 F's of my bariatric holiday survival tactics, which are food, family, and feeling good. First things first, let's talk food. Thoughts about food get the bariatric beehive brain going, don't they? If we're not careful, we can start obsessing about what to eat, when to eat, or, oh crap, I shouldn't have eaten that, and then beating yourself up. To quiet that bariatric beehive brain and maintain your sanity around food, it's as simple as this. Set the table, so to speak. What I mean by that is decide ahead of time how you will approach food at holiday gatherings. The worst thing you can do is wait until you've got all those temptations in front of you and decide in that moment, when you're at your weakest, how you will handle the situation. When you decide how you are going to eat ahead of time, there is no decision to make in the heat of the moment. It removes the stress. The way I see it, your choices fall into 3 approaches. Approach number 1, stick to your normal nutritious eating plan. That might mean bringing some of your own food if you're going somewhere, or at least having some backup foods if there aren't enough choices that are right size aligned. Approach number 2 is the hybrid approach. Enjoy some of the less nutritious options, but in moderation. That might mean filling 75% of your bariatric size plate with protein and nutritiously prepared veggies, which leaves 25% of your plate for more decadent delights like potatoes, stuffing, casseroles, and dessert. And by the way, I'm just throwing 75% out there as an example. You do whatever percent works for you. Maybe it's 50 or 60% nutritious, or maybe it's 80 or 90. You do you. Approach number 3, go wild at the gathering with no restrictions. Except, of course, those wonderful restrictions you can be grateful for thanks to your altered tummy, and then get back on track the following morning. Now, if you choose the go wild approach, be prepared that you will likely be hungry much sooner, and you might even be ravenously hungry the day after. It's the protein and clean veggies that keep you satisfied the longest. You might even notice a slight uptick in hunger with the hybrid approach. So just be aware of that and plan for it. Here's the most important thing. If you choose the hybrid or go wild approach, you get a guilt-free pass for the day. There is no beating yourself up or feeling guilty about your eating choices. They aligned with the decision you made well in advance of the holiday. And besides, does wallowing in guilt and shame help you? For a lot of us, when our head gets in that space, it triggers emotional eating. So just tell guilt and shame to take a hike. They are not welcome on the holidays. They're not welcome anytime for that matter. The magic is in deciding your approach ahead of time. It keeps the worry, anxiety, and guilt out of the day so you can enjoy it. While on the topic of food, I'd be remiss if I didn't discuss food pushers. You know, friends or family that try to push food on you that you simply don't want. I'm talking about people who say things like, "Oh, but you have to try it because I made it just for you." Oh, come on, it's Thanksgiving. You can make an exception. Or how about this one? "You've just got to take home leftovers or all this food I spent so much time preparing will go to waste." You can probably anticipate the comments like these, and whose mouth they'll be coming out of. Have a response prepared in advance. Personally, I prefer a kind yet direct response like, "Hey, I'm so touched that you took the time to make that specially for me. And your gesture is incredibly meaningful to me, even though I'm not hungry for it right now." Or I've known others to take a more indirect approach and say, oh, I'll have some later when I've got more room. Or they offer to take the leftovers but dispose of them on the way home. This brings me to topic number 2, family. Things get a bit trickier when it comes to family. For many of us, spending time with family is a mixed bag. There's a whole lot of wonderful and a whole lot of tippy-toeing through potential minefields. While there are many landmines to avoid, let's dig into one that's tough for so many of us in the bariatric community. And that's feeling like we're being judged. Hey, wait, are you allowed to eat that after surgery? Oh, you look awesome. Let me ask you a million intrusive questions. Hey, looks like you put on some weight. Did your surgery not work? You took the easy way out. Oh dear, you've lost too much weight. You look ill and like you've aged. It's so annoying and hurtful. Here's some things to consider. Shift your perspective. A lot of times these hurtful comments are a result of their own insecurity or struggles with weight, even if they're not visible. Most people feel a lot of cultural pressure around weight. In fact, there are very few people I know that are not a bit caught up with their weight, whether it's male, female, young, mature, too skinny, right size, or more to love. Most people are really self-conscious. Many times their hurtful comments come from their own pain or struggle. Sometimes just understanding that makes it seem like less of an attack on you and just their own baggage that they're dealing with. Another option is to take back the power. This is something I learned from my sister, and it goes against the grain a bit. A lot of people will say, hey, just tell family how it makes you feel when they say hurtful comments about your weight. And sure, you can do that with some people, but in my experience, a lot of people might seem like they empathize in the moment, and then they return to the hurtful words the following day like the conversation never happened. What I have seen work better is to tell them that you love your body. And it's okay to say this even if you're still working on loving your body. Seriously, get this. I was always overweight as a kid, but my sister was the total opposite. Stick thin. During Christmas break, during her first year in college, she overheard 2 family members talking about her weight. Now, I don't remember the exact words, but they were talking about how my sister had gained the freshman 15. You know, that 15 pounds so many seem to gain their first year of college. And they were talking about how they always knew the weight would catch up with her eventually. What they didn't know is that my sister was in earshot. And she walked right up to them and called them out. She looked at them and she said, first of all, it's crappy to talk about me behind my back. But the truth is, I really don't care what you think about my body. I think my body is beautiful, and that's all that matters. Over the years, both before and after this incident, I've had conversations with these 2 family members about how weight comments hurt, about how they weren't telling those of us who they were directed at anything we couldn't see in the mirror, and on and on. Never, not once did anything shut them up like my sister's comment. And it didn't just stop in that moment. It's been more than 25 years since that incident, and as far as I know, they have never said anything about my sister's weight again. You know, I thought about that a lot. Why did what my sister say work to stop the judgment of her weight as opposed to my countless efforts to stop them from judging mine? And I think I figured it out. My sister took the power away from them. She told them that their opinion about her weight didn't matter. Only how she felt about how herself mattered. When it comes to family, don't shoulder the burden of other people's opinions. We can't control how others think and act. We can only control how we act and how we respond to people. This can be a challenging thing to put into practice, but the important thing is to remind yourself their opinions are not your burden. It's very rare that we'll change people's opinions. Because of this, I personally think it's not even worth trying to influence their opinions because you'll just get worked up emotionally in the process. If all else fails, when the family drama gets a bit too much to bear, simply excuse yourself to go for a walk outside. The act of removing yourself from the situation to get some fresh air will do wonders in helping you return to your happy, balanced state of mind. Finally, the third F is feeling good. Carve out some time for your mental wellness, whether that means going for a walk or finding some quiet time for meditation or journaling. Put yourself first, because when you put your wellness first, you're able to show up the best version of yourself for everyone else too. Try new things to make the holidays more fun. Maybe there's a new tradition you can begin this year. Maybe bringing old photos to go through and scrapbook together, or simply reminisce. Maybe you can get the family together for a holiday walk. That's something my cousins and I do every Christmas. We do our morning walk to Starbucks, which is about 2 miles, wearing silly holiday hats, sweaters, and socks. It's a hoot. Lots of cars are driving by us, honking, and they roll down the windows to wish us a happy holidays. If you're alone this holiday, and I know that can be a bummer, I encourage you to find something where community gathers. Maybe you do a holiday 5K walk, or check the local calendar to see if there are any public events, or look for opportunities to volunteer for organizations serving holiday meals. Whatever it is, do your best to let go of the pressure and find moments of joy. And whether you're with others or going solo, take time to practice gratitude. Focus on something for which you're grateful, and I mean really connect with it. How does that person or thing for which you're grateful make you feel? Focusing on gratitude can enhance your mood and your health. And get this, your brain can't respond to gratitude and negative emotions at the same time. It has to pick a lane, so to speak. So use the power of gratitude to your advantage. Hey, there's no question holidays can sometimes be stressful, lonely, hurtful, or totally frenzied. Quiet that bariatric beehive brain by committing to your approach to eating before the day of the event, and figure out how you will handle those food pushers ahead of time too. Reduce family pressures by shifting your perspective, taking back power, or going for a walk outside to get grounded. And finally, focus on feeling good by carving out time for gratitude, your mental wellness, having fun, and trying new things. May your holidays be happy, and as always, live with purpose, live with courage, and live with delight.